What's up, everybody? It's J and J with Justin and Jordan. What we got today, Justin?
So today we will be recapping the NBA draft, discussing the KP trade, and we will also be discussing the Chris Paul trade that just went down last week. But let's get into this episode.
So as you already know, we did our mock drafts, last episode. Couple big surprises, I'll say that much. Mostly we're on the money. I mean, we had some picks that were like really, really good, but the big one, man, we both had Cam Whitmore going top 5. We had him going number 4 specifically. Number 4. Didn't even make the lottery. Did not make the lottery. Justin, what was your thoughts? Because when I'm sitting there watching the draft, I'm thinking like, someone's got to take him eventually. Like by 10, I'm like, how is nobody taking him by now, bro?
Yeah, the Cam Whitmore falling, that shit was crazy. I did not see it coming. I know there was reports before the draft, like a little bit before, they're like, oh, Cam Whitmore got the potential to fall in this draft. So I was like, all right, if that happens, I could see him falling to like 9 or something. But I didn't think he was going to fall to 20. Like by the time it got to pick like 11, 12, I'm like, all right, what the fuck is going on? But you see there's reports like his medical wasn't that good. He didn't do too good in the interview process. His pre-draft workout wasn't too good. But I think for the Houston Rockets, this was a steal. You guys ended up with a Amen Thompson at 4, who's one of the guys with the highest upsides in this draft. And then you got a guy in Cam Whitmore who could have went as close to 4, and you got him at 20, and you didn't have to trade for shit. You didn't have to do nothing. He just landed in your lap. So I think for Houston, this worked out really well. We're going to see now in the future if teams are going to be like, damn, did we really think too much about this medical? Because we saw it back in 2018 with Michael Porter Jr. He was the number 1 player in that high school class. He had his back injury, and a lot of the medics, they weren't on his side, so he slipped in the draft. That's a guy going into that draft in the preseason. He was number 1 pick, top 3. And he fell all the way to 14, and now teams are like, bro. I remember Jerome Robinson got picked before him. Kevin Knox got picked before him. Like, yep. Yeah, so sometimes I think teams just think too much about it. Like, clearly, like, a wing like him that's athletic, those guys, I feel like, because the last episode we was talking about how it's easy to get wings, but to get wings that are like multi-talented in different areas, those guys are hard to come by. So if you could take one, especially in the top of the lottery, I would take a chance, even if he wasn't on your big board. Even if you thought you was going to get this guy, but Cam is sliding all the way down here and you have the potential to grab him, I would take him. But I think for Houston, they really came out and they got a steal.
Houston most definitely won the draft, and to kind of build upon your wing comment, it's true. Like, you look at the past decade of NBA champions, you need a really damn good wing to win a championship more than anything. Like a wing that could do almost everything, bro. Yes, PGs have kind of been like the wave and stuff. We're seeing the revival of big men, but still, the past 10 years, the common denominator in every like championship team, you had an incredible wing. Whether it was LeBron, KD, Kawhi, Chris Middleton, Andre Iguodala.
What the fuck?
You need a good wing. You need a good wing. And as we said, we wanted Cam to go to the Rockets at number 4 because we said you got your backcourt already, you got your big, get your wing. Absolutely walked away as the biggest winners in the draft. Sure, the Spurs got Wemby, the Blazers got Scoot, whatever. These guys, the Rockets, just walked away with 2 top 5 talents. Honestly. And one of them they got after the lottery. So they got their point guard of the future, which, I put a little stock in Kevin Porter Jr., but that's fine now. You got Amen Thompson and Cam Whitmore. I said it was one or the other, but now you got both. And, it brings it up to the fact, like, are medical records even that important? Like, seriously? Yes, you're worried about, like, the injuries and stuff, but, like, medical report, sure, that's important. This stuff about the questions, though, like, how serious do we take the questions when it comes to the draft process? We saw that Phil Jackson was asking stupid-ass questions. I think he was asking questions about eating, like, raw squids and shit like that. He's asking weird-ass questions. How is Cam Whitmore answering some of these questions where it's like, we don't want you in the top 10? Is bro whipping out his cock or something? Like, what is going on? What is going on where he's dead ass falling out of the lottery? But that's all I got to say really about Cam Whitmore. You said there was another big shocker in the draft. You want to talk about Jet Howard? I mean, I don't really have too much comments about that. I feel like he kind of fell in a decent spot. Sure, he might have rose a little bit, but everywhere in the mock drafts, he's really like a late lottery, maybe like early 20s guy. So tell me more about the Jet Howard pick, how you felt about that.
Nah, yeah, the Jet Howard to Orlando pick really surprised me. Did not see that coming. I was like, what? I was prepared for Orlando to take Grady, but it didn't happen. I mean, I do like Jet Howard as a prospect, but it's tough because I guess Orlando took into account that he is a bigger wing, and I know he's not the shooter that Grady Dick is, but he can create for himself, and he could shoot it, but he's not an elite shooter like that, and he could create. He does have long arms. He does have size paws. He could do. He could get to his spots. So I guess they kind of saw the pick as like, what we can't get out of Grady, we could maybe get into this guy. But my only issue with that is you already have Franz Wagner. You have Paulo Banchero. You have those two guys that are kind of like your guys that are gonna go get your bucket. I feel like with a guy that could play more off ball, a guy like Jordan Hawkins or Grady Dick, that would have fit in very well with them because you got guys that could just roam off the ball, could hit shots, they could cut, do what they got to do. With Jet Howard, he's gonna need the ball in his hands to get his shots. Hopefully he opens up his game. I think the Anthony Black pick was a really good pick for them. They're gonna have to cut some of that guard depth, but I think that was a good pick. But yeah, I like Jet Howard's game, but I just think with all the talent that Orlando has, I feel like they could have went somewhere where it could have been somebody else that could have just fit into the offensive side more. But we'll see how it turns out. I think he is a good player though, so we'll see how it goes.
What are the Pistons cooking? That's kind of one of the big questions I walked away from the draft.
I saw some people were kind of mad at that pick.
What are the Pistons cooking right now, bro? You have so many guards there now. You draft another one.
That did kind of surprise me too. I'm not gonna lie.
That's what I'm saying. What exactly are they cooking? We said they could get Walker. If not Walker, I guess of course Cam Whitmore, who we saw fall. They could have gotten Taylor Hendricks. What are they cooking right now? Like, what do you think they're gonna do from here on out? You're gonna run a 3-guard lineup?
Yeah, when I saw them take a SAR at 5, I was like, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. So but I kind of do see where they went. Me personally, I probably would have took Jarris Walker right there. Because I knew Cam Whitmore had the questions and stuff, but I probably, with the questions in mind, I'm like, all right, fuck it. You're at 5. Jarris Walker would be a good fit here if you're not going to take Cam Whitmore. But Asar, yeah, I kind of feel like they're going to use him as like, in like that wing role, playing at a high pace, just going with Cade and Ivy pushing the pace, and then you have a guy who's very strong defensively come into the league. He's not an athlete like his brother, but he is going to be in the mix. He's going to be very pesky on defense. He's going to be a cutter. My only issue is like those minutes when all three of them are playing together, Cade, Ivy, and Asar. What's it going to look like? Like, is Asar going to need the ball? I know he could cut, but there's questions with his jump shot and all that. So if he's not hitting his jump shot, it could deteriorate some of the shit for him. So it might be tough. I would have liked to see him go somewhere else where he could maybe have more opportunity on the ball. But I do see the potential that Asar has as a cutter, as a 3-and-D wing at the start, and then we'll see how his career develops. I think he could play alongside those guys, but with this situation, with him playing alongside Cade and Ivy, I think his jump shot has to come along a little bit faster. So there's a little bit less room for error. So I think the Pistons have to take that into account too. But I think this was a high upside pick for them.
Of course, but here's my problem with that pick, because I'm a fan of Asar, right?
Yeah.
But the Pistons are at a point where you're supposed to be, completing your rebuild. Not this season, but they should be in the playoff mix by 2025. If you're shooting for that, you don't go for upside at this point. You got your upside guy already, right? You got your 2 upside guys. I didn't like the pick because like now you got to draft for fit. Yes, you have the 5th pick. You start drafting for fit though at this point in your rebuild, because I don't like how we're gonna be running a 3-guard lineup right now. I like, for example, I don't want this to be sounding like Asar hate. I wanted Asar to be on the Wizards. That is a perfect pick right there for the Wizards. You got an exciting guy, and then now you pair him with Jordan Poole, right?
Yeah.
But now he's going to be fighting. I think he's going to be fighting for minutes, and he's going to be fighting for the ball. Because Cade, under no circumstances, should be giving up the ball. If he's coming back as the regular Cade Cunningham from his injury, he needs to have the ball. If he doesn't have the ball, you know who needs the ball? Jaden Ivey. I want to trust Jaden Ivey with the ball. You want to talk about Asar could cut and do this, do that. He can't shoot like that. He doesn't have the shooting where you draft him to this type of team. You got your 2 ball handlers already. Get your wing, get your big, get Walker, like we said. You saw that because we had the Rockets taking Cam again, like I'm gonna reiterate from before. We had them taking him at 4, which is why we said take Walker. If Cam is still there, injury reports, interviews, all that. You could tell I'm still kind of pissed about Cam falling this far, but at least he went to the right team. Why would you draft another guard? A guard that needs the ball. Are we forgetting that you had the number 1 pick and you took Cade Cunningham 2 years ago? Do
you think Detroit thinks that Cade could play that 3 role?
I really hope not, bro.
I hope not either.
I hope that's their big point guard right there. Yeah, and that's where the NBA is trending at this point. Don't force him to play, off the ball or make him play the 3 right now. And definitely don't shift Ivy down.
No, yeah.
That's the worst thing you could do. Out of the 3, I don't want Ivy touching the small forward position the most.
I see a lot of people saying if you're in the lottery section of the draft, go for best player available over fit. I only disagree. I only agree with that if there's a generational or somebody that's way exceptionally better than the guys that you already have. Yeah, Sar Thompson does have a lot of upside, but I think Jarris Walker does too, and he's a guy that can help you guys right now. I just feel like with Ivy and Cade, those are you guys just drafted them. Ivy last year and Cade the year before that. So to take another swing at another guard this early, I feel like it's kind of premature. Unless Scoot was at that spot, then I could understand. But yeah, I feel like you should have took a guy that could, a guy like Jarris or Cam, who you don't have a position at that. I mean, you're in need of somebody at that position, but they also bring upside to you. The upside talk only matters if you have fucking Ramon Sessions at point guard and you say, nah, we're not gonna take Anthony Black because we have Ramon Sessions. Nah, you don't do that. In those situations you do take best available. But when you have guys with potential and you just drafted them 2 years ago, literally, and a year ago, you should not be swinging for another guard. You should be looking for somebody else in a position that you need that also offers upside and a little bit of a good floor too.
Honestly, I wouldn't even take Scoot if I was the Pistons and he was available. That's how much faith that I have in Cade Cunningham, because I think a problem with NBA fans, you get caught up in what's cool and what's new, right? And, Cade Cunningham's not the shiny new toy. He's 2 years old now, So, when it comes to, even taking someone like Scoot, who is much better than Asar, I wouldn't take him. And unless you are a super generational talent like Wemby or something, then you disregard depth. If you're the Timberwolves and you have the first pick, you take Wemby. You don't let Karl Anthony Towns stop you from taking that. I don't think there's... The only guys that stop you from taking that pick would probably be the Sixers and the Nuggets.
The Nuggets.
That's it. Any other center, you do not worry about depth. So it's why are we taking another guard in this position if you're the Pistons? Yeah. You need to complete your rebuild eventually. Realistically, I understand there's been different levels of rebuilds, but they've been rebuilding for more than 12 years now. They made the playoffs twice, but I don't even count that. And realistically speaking, you've been rebuilding for over a decade. And you're so close to getting out of it. And this is the pick that you make. This is a team that I wanted to see. If they made the right pick here, I think they could have fought for the play-in this season upcoming. I think now you kind of have to push that back a little, push that window back, push it back to 2025. But Asar, talented guy, great player, someone I want to be a primary ball handler on another team. Pistons is not the wave, though.
Yo, I'm not going to lie. I think after the draft, the Rockets low-key might have the best, young core. Under 22 type shit.
In the NBA?
They might. It's between them. I would say it's between them or Orlando. I would throw Detroit in there, but...
I was about to say the Pistons.
Pistons is up there. It got to be between... But the shit that Houston got cooking up, I think that's going to be dangerous. Especially with Ime there and immense defensive upside. I feel like off rip he's gonna be getting after it. But yeah, those are the three like young teams to look out for. I think Houston got some because I know we made all these jokes about Houston being an AAU team, but if Udoka could step in and put his foot down and get shit going, I think that team, their future is gonna be really bright.
Who makes the playoffs first? The Spurs, the Rockets, or the Pistons? I'm taking out the Magic because I think the Magic are going to be fighting for the play-in this year, regardless of whatever pick they took. So out of those three teams who were kind of like bottom of the barrel for the last couple of years, who's making the playoffs first?
I would probably go with the Spurs.
Spurs.
Yeah.
I kind of want to agree with you because they do have an underrated core. It's just that they're not flashy, which is why nobody really cares about them, and not too many of them are taken super high, you know, like Keldon and Devin Vassell, and then now you're adding Wemby. But I'm still drinking the Pistons Kool-Aid, bro. Like, I'm a big fan in Cade. I'm a big believer in Cade. I'm a fan of Ivy. Maybe they could figure something out with Asar, but the thing is, too, like, those two teams are in the West.
Not yet.
I understand the East is getting really damn good right now, but those two teams are in the West. I still want to see how Wemby functions in a professional level. I'm not talking Summer League. Summer League is cool and all, but I'm talking a real professional game. I want to see what Wemby does. And the Rockets, they still got to prove, like, with the new coach and with these new additions, like, hey, now we want to play defense now. Or Jalen Green's like, look, now I want to stop taking stupid shots and being inefficient. But when it comes to the Pistons, like, I kind of feel like from them, we know more so what we're getting in comparison to other two teams. And I think either way, like, none of them are going to be fighting for play-in this year. None of them. The Magic, sure, but that's why I didn't include them in the question. But the Pistons, man, I think they'll make it by 2025.
No, yeah, I feel what you're saying. I feel like for the Spurs, the one thing that's in question right now is a guard. So if they could go out in free agency and get a nice little guard, I think that could do a lot for them. Because I think, like you said, we still have to see what Vic does when he gets into the league. But I think off rip, he's going to be an elite rim protector. I think he's going to be that off rip. And when you have Jeremy Sohan, sharing the front court with him, they're going to cause a lot of problems for teams there. And you still got Keldon Johnson, who just came off a 19-point per game season.
Always consistent.
Devin Vassell is improving. Trey Jones is improving constantly. So I feel like they have like the mixins right there for a solid team. I'm not saying they'll be like. Are you discluding playing, or you're saying staying playoff?
You know what? Because playing is so like weird. I don't even think they count playing as like for like playoff records. Like if you drop 60, that's not going to be a playoff record. But let's say playing then. You know, let's extend it to even playing.
I could see San Antonio being like a playing
this season, or just in general, like first.
I think this season. I think they could be like 10 at highest, like. Maybe like 8 at highest, but I could see them being like 10.
I don't think I want to go too far in thinking that Wemby's going to carry a team automatically. To
but I'm not saying Wemby's going to come in and average 27 a game. I'm not saying
I know that, but for them to make it, he's going to have to be something special. He's going to have to be like a minimum 20-point per game guy for them to do that, because this is just same roster, add Wemby. And that same roster without him wasn't exactly too hot. You're expecting them to be better than, for example, the Thunder, who were without Chet. Chet's coming back to Summer League.
I think they're making the playoffs this year.
Who, the Thunder?
Yeah.
Okay, so who's falling out then? The Timberwolves? Is the Spurs better than the Timberwolves?
Nah.
Let's not sleep on Ant-Man. And who else made the play-in? Who am I forgetting? We have the Lakers.
I think Pelicans made it.
And Pelicans. Yeah. I don't think they're better than the Pelicans, even without Zion. Because we can't sleep on BI, bro. I mean, maybe they're in the same tier, but that's the one thing. That's the one team they have to take out, and that's also discarding, for example, the Blazers. We don't know what they're going to look like with Scoot. We don't know what moves they're going to make. But even then, like, they still have to be better than the Blazers. And even if they're better than the Blazers, it's still not making it. And this is assuming nobody else moves. I guess the only team that could fall out, I mean, after 25 games, I don't know if they're going to fall that far. But the Grizzlies, for example, that's the only team with potential to fall out. The Mavs didn't make it too. I forgot about that. The Mavs didn't make it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really hard for the Spurs, even if Wemby's like all world, to make it to a play-in.
Nah, yeah, I'm banking on them, man, because if they could somehow get their hands on Fred VanVleet, That shit would be crazy.
I guess it would be pretty cool, you know. But like in comparison to the Pistons, it's really like what you have to beat out the Raptors and the Bulls and the Magic who are up and coming. I think their road to the playoffs is so much easier compared to the Rockets and the Spurs. Like the East is really top heavy. You have like maybe like 5-6 teams that are really good, but everything else is kind of crap below it, which is why I think the Pistons could be a little less crappy than all the other teams below them. You get what I'm saying, right?
Nah, yeah,
like they're easily gonna be better than the Hornets. They're gonna be easily better than the Wizards, who have Jordan Poole. Now we're gonna talk about that very soon. They're gonna be better than a lot of these teams in the East. I think they'll be better than the Bulls. I think the Bulls ain't gonna be on shit because they're gonna get rid of Zach LaVine. So that's why I'm drinking a lot of the Pistons Kool-Aid. You know, I'm a big fan of Cade Cunningham and his game.
Yeah,
love big point guards. He's coming back, so I think he's gonna come back for a big season, maybe even an all-star season.
Hawks trade John Collins
live on the show.
It was 3 minutes ago, but I'm on D&D. They're sending him to Utah for Rudy Gay and future second-round pick.
Rudy Gay to the Hawks.
Yep.
I guess let's talk about that real quick.
They finally traded John Collins after 4 years of him being in trade talks.
So this is probably like the first news breaking thing that happened on the pod. So right now, John Collins has just been traded. Rudy Gay going to the Hawks. I mean, he's really old, but at least you're getting rid of John Collins. Like you said, he's been in trade talks since his second season. So what do you think that's gonna do for the Jazz, and what do you think that's gonna do for the Hawks?
Is that a salary dump, you think? Or
definitely.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't see Rudy Gay coming in like, hey, like I'm the new pickup. I don't know. I think they're gonna look to flip that. There's no way. Yeah, because I think Danny Ainge's like, let me see if I could do some. But yeah, the Hawks have been talking about getting rid of John Collins for a while now, and they finally do it for Rudy Gay in a second-round pick. Kind of underwhelming. Underrating
live news, but it's still news, man. Because we've been waiting for this for a long fucking time. Him and like Miles Turner.
I think this move was just for the Hawks, just to free up space to potentially get somebody in free agency. They've been trying to move this John Collins guy for a minute, and they finally get to for a very, very cheap price. So we'll see. We're gonna have to wait and see. Free agency begins this Saturday.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Ready for it.
We'll see what happens.
Honestly, it sounds crazy. We just had the playoffs go by, but let's be real. Free agency. I mean, the NBA is such a storyline-driven league. Free agency is low-key the most exciting time in the NBA.
Yeah.
More exciting than the finals sometimes. More exciting than the playoffs. More exciting than day one of the NBA season. Free agency is where all the stories pop off, all the drama. A lot of people say, the NBA is just a soap opera of basketball in the background, So we're going to see what happens on Saturday. That was a pretty decent trade, but let's talk about some bigger trades that have gone on in the past week. Marcus Smart, the heart of the Celtics, the longest tenured Celtic, has just been moved for Kristaps Porzingis. Was supposed to be originally Malcolm Brogdon that left, but now it's Marcus Smart. I was kind of surprised because Marcus Smart's been part of the team for... It's been 10 seasons, or it would have been 10 seasons if he carried over.
9 seasons. 2014.
He was drafted 10 years ago, basically.
Yeah.
So, he was drafted 9 years ago.
Yeah.
So they just traded him away. You're losing a former DPOY, my opinion, undeserved, whatever. But you're really losing the heart and soul of the team. But you're getting back Kristaps Porzingis, who had probably his best season since his last season as a New York Knick, where he was voted an All-Star. Kind of like a low-key kind of guy right now in the Wizards. A lot of people weren't really watching, but he was playing phenomenal. He was semi-healthy. What is this going to do for the Celtics, though, in your opinion?
For the Celtics, man, Brad Stevens took a swing move. This was a power move right here, but I think this move could... I mean, this is going to be a tough move because KP has 1 year left on his deal. So this could either help or hurt the Celtics. So if he has a big year, it works out, you win the finals, you're gonna have to pay him too, along with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. And with the new salary cap rules coming in next offseason, it's gonna be hard to pay all three of them guys and retain all your role players. It's gonna be hard for that. But then you look at it from the other side, if it doesn't work out, he doesn't mesh well with Brown and Tatum, and he wants to walk, he might either lose his value, maybe he gets hurt, or he walks for nothing. You just sent your heart and soul And they gave up a first too, right? Or no?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So you gave that up too for a risk of KP. So it's a risky spot to be in. I do think talent wise it is a good move. I think for the Celtics this does help them a little bit more, but it does raise questions because you have KP who's dealt with injuries over his career, Robert Williams too, and you still have Malcolm Brogdon. So your core 7 guys, 3 of them are injury prone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something to look into. But talent wise, I think this is a good move for them if everything works out and he could have another season similar to his past season. I don't expect him to average 21 points a game.
He's not.
I don't expect him to do that, but you need that Al Horford insurance because Al Horford is old as fuck at this point. He should not be playing 40 minutes a night in the playoffs. He shouldn't be doing that. You should have KP, a guy who could protect the rim and he could space the floor, and then you don't have Robert Williams moving around trying to fly around everywhere. So I think this is good for the Celtics. We'll see how it goes. This is a very risky move, but I guess Brad Stevens thinks this is basically like the Celtics window. We've been seeing it since 2018. They're literally at the ECF or they're in the finals. It's one or the other. So this is basically a win now move. I think that's what they're going for. For Memphis, I think this is really good for Marcus Smart too. He gets to go to Memphis. He gets to be. They already had their culture, but now he gets to be the adult in the locker room. He gets to hold these guys accountable. I know people like to say Dylan Brooks was that guy, but Dylan Brooks was really just like all the shenanigans that was going around. He fed into it too.
He enabled it.
Yeah, he enabled it. Marcus Smart is gonna shut that shit up. He's gonna basically hold these guys accountable and bring them back to earth. Like, you guys aren't hot shit. He's gonna be that guy. And I really like this move for him. You couldn't ask for a better spot for Marcus Smart. This is really, other than Boston, this might have been like the perfect spot for him. So I think it's gonna work. I think it should work out well for both sides.
Honestly, to start off, horrible trade for Boston, in my opinion. I get it. You're going for talent. Terrible move though. Rob Will or KP goes down. Like you said, you got to play Al Horford a lot of fucking minutes.
You're fucked. Yeah.
You're fucked. Yes, KP stretches the floor and he plays defense. I think that he's still kind of overrated in that sense. I don't think he's really a shot blocker you need. I think he's overrated as a shot blocker. You're really just getting him to space the floor mostly, right? He's not coming in to score 20 like you said. So you're getting like a 17 point per game guy that doesn't rebound. His shot blocking's okay, but besides that, he's getting hurt all the time. What is Boston going to do when KP goes down? He only plays 55 games. Or he goes, let's say he makes it through a season healthy. He goes down the first round. You're fucked. What if it's not KP? What if it's Rob Will that goes down? You're fucked. Malcolm Brogdon, like you said already, another guy who's always getting injured. One thing you could say about Marcus Smart doesn't get hurt. He does not get hurt. He plays close to damn near every game, no matter what. You're trading that for a guy who probably will play a little more than half the season. I'll give him that. A little more than half. I'm not going to exaggerate and say half. I think this is a bad move for the Celtics. As you said, they've been in the conference finals every year, basically. They made the conference finals in the past like 7 years more, and they've missed it, which is insane. That's an insane statistic. I think you have a good thing going already. There's nothing to change. I get it, like you lost in 7 last year, this past month. But run it back. You have the talent to run it back. There is no reason to make this move. If Malcolm Brogdon could have been the one move like he was supposed to be, it's a great trade. But you're losing Marcus Smart, a guy who's always there. He's always playing. He's bringing the defense, bringing intensity.
If you could have flipped Malcolm Brogdon, yeah, this would have been way better.
Now for the Grizzlies, I think there's a phenomenal trade. As you said, we're bringing an adult into the locker room. Dylan Brooks is not a leader. Dylan Brooks is kind of like when, let's say you're the oldest cousin, you're like 10 years old, and your mom says, watch your cousins, and they're like 7. You might be the oldest, but you're not an adult. You're not responsible, you're not mature. That's what Dylan Brooks was, because that was a whole crew of kids and Steven Adams who couldn't hold down the locker room. Marcus Smart will get in John Morant's face and say, cut the shit. He did that to Kyrie. He did that to Jaylen Brown. He did that to Tatum. He'll do it to anybody. If he was on the same team as LeBron, he would do it to LeBron. He doesn't care. He's going to say, cut the shit. Like you said, this is the perfect place. If I wanted Marcus Smart anywhere that wasn't Boston, it would be the Grizzlies. I think this is more so a culture move for them, not more so like a talent move. Sure, you're replacing Dylan Brooks, but you're still getting improved defense. I know you're kind of conflicted. You're getting better defense, but you're still getting someone who takes a little too many shots that are ill-advised shots, and Marcus Smart. You're getting a better defensive and I guess a little bit more responsible offensive player in Marcus Smart in comparison to Dylan Brooks. But besides that, I think there's more of a culture move, a move that hopefully, I've said so many times on the show, you guys know how I feel about John Morant's antics. Hopefully this is something that keeps him under the reins, under control with Marcus Smart.
No, yeah, I didn't make a face because what you said about the talent thing. I just made a face because I just realized that not only are you replacing Dylan Brooks, but you're also going to be filling in for John Morant when he's out for those 25 games. And then you also have to fill in that void of Tyus Jones being out in that trade to the Wizards. So now when John Morant comes back, do you think Smart should come off the bench or you think he should start?
Kind of has to, because you can't. Another thing with three-guard lineups that I really hate, it's too small. You can't run Desmond Bane at the three.
Yeah, fuck
You
no.
could try, but it's really ill-advised. And no matter how good the defense is with Bane and Smart, don't do it. It's not worth it.
Not yet.
So I would rather have Marcus Smart come off the bench. But for now, while John Morant's out, let him run the offense. Let him try. Let him be that lead guard until he comes back. But after that happens, let him come off the bench, but not in a way where he's playing like 25 minutes. Kind of like a off the bench guy that really plays 30 minutes. Like he's not really that much of
like how Lou Will was.
Exactly.
Off the bench,
like
getting starter minutes.
Like J.R. Smith was when he won Sixth Man of the Year. He is sixth man, but he's really playing like 33 minutes.
I agree with you.
So I think that's the right move to run with when Marcus Smart is playing and John Morant's gone. But overall, I think this is a win for the Grizzlies. Not like a super L, but a little bit of an L for the Celtics. You're getting talent, but it's kind of broken down talent.
Yeah, it's a lot of shit on the line for the Celtics.
What about the other big trade? The biggest trade that has happened the past week.
Tyus Jones for the Wizards.
No one gives a fuck about that. the real biggest trade. What? And besides, since you did say that, Wizards, stop getting backup point guards and trying to make them starters, bro. It's not gonna work.
You know what I think they're trying to do? I think they're gonna let Tyus be the guy for like 3 months, let him play his ass off, and then they're gonna trade him.
If it works out.
They're gonna trade him.
If it even works
trade
out.
him and get some, because they're trying to be bad right now.
I think this is just Monte Morris all over again. You're trying to force a elite off the bench guy point guard and force him into a starting role. Sometimes it just doesn't work out.
No, he wants to start. Yeah, let him start for 3 months, and then he's like, this shit might not be for me.
I don't think it's going to be for him. But the real biggest trade, though, Chris Paul is now a Warrior. This is like something that I don't even think you would see this in 2K. This is insane to me. Chris Paul has been a rival, if we can even say that. He has been a rival to the Warriors for about 9 years now. They've had a rivalry since the 13-14 season. These guys have been, let me not say beating on each other. They've been beating Chris Paul's ass every single year. And, he's a rival to Stephen Curry in a sense, He's not, him and Steph Curry had kind of some heat when they were at their highest peaks of each other. But, man, you flip Jordan Poole. Of course, we all knew that no matter what, even though Draymond Green was in the wrong, they're going to take his side, move Jordan Poole, do something about him, and keep Draymond. That's a dynasty pillar right there. You're not going to lose your dynasty pillar. But to bring in Chris Paul for Jordan Poole, was there nothing better that they could get? You getting a way Hall of Famer in Chris Paul to join your team to do what? Your point guard is Draymond Green. Your second ball handler is Stephen Curry. Where does Chris Paul fit in? He's small too. Like Patrick Beverley said, he's a cone on defense at this point. So you're not getting him for defense. Are we going to see Chris Paul come off the bench and be the sixth man?
Might have to.
Because I really thought Chris Paul, I've been growing up with Chris Paul. He used to be one of my favorite players, man. But at this point, we're really going to see Chris Paul and his career coming off the bench. And there's a certain echelon of guys that you just think they're going to retire as starters. And I really thought Chris Paul was going to be one of them. But this is not the way for him to end his career. He's definitely not going to win a championship on a team like the Warriors at this point. I don't think he's going to be able to fit into the system. A lot of people think Chris Paul could fit into any system. I don't think he's fitting into the Warriors system. And for the Wizards, look, you got a guy that he's going to be part of your young core at this point. He gets to jack up the shots that he wants to. He gets to
play with Koulibaly.
Yeah. He gets to play with Koulibaly. Wow. He gets to play with Koulibaly. What a big deal. Could have been a star. But yeah. How do you feel about the trade?
Man, Mike Dunleavy Jr., my Duke brother. I don't think this was a kind of a bad way to start off this job. Trading for Chris Paul and you trading Jordan Poole. I didn't really like this trade at all. Only for the sole fact of like you said, you have Draymond Green, who is that facilitator for you, that does all the stuff that you kind of want Chris Paul to do. For Steph Curry to be off balls, same thing with Clay. You have Draymond that does those things. So to bring in Chris Paul, another guard, and this is a Golden State fast-paced offense. Chris Paul's whole career, he likes to play slow, likes to slow down the clock, half-court setting. He wants to do that. He is old as fuck, like I said on the TikTok at the J&J podcast. Go follow that. But yeah, like I was saying, he's old as fuck. I don't see him trying to play in that reckless Golden State offense. He does like to run a lot of pick and roll, but like, who are you going to run with? Draymond? What is that? He's not going to be a scoring threat. Kevon Looney, he's not going to be a scoring threat. What is that going to do for you? So I do think Chris Paul is smart enough. He's one of the best basketball minds ever in the game. I do think he will adjust his game, but I don't know what it looks like. I guess I have to see it to believe it. I'm not saying that this is going to be a complete failure. Obviously, they're going to get their wins. They're all smart basketball players. They're going to get wins and stuff like that. But if your goal is to win a championship, this Chris Paul move to me doesn't really put you guys like over the top. I feel like you guys literally just won 2 years ago. You guys had everything. What really fucked shit up was the Draymond and Poole thing, and everybody kind of just swept that shit under the rug. I just think the way that was handled was shitty. I think that was really it. But to think Chris Paul is going to be the savior for you guys to extend this dynasty, I don't think he's the answer for that.
It's a shocker, bro. It's a shocker. I don't know what the Warriors are doing right now. I don't know what their intentions are. I don't know what they're cooking. It's as simple as I really don't know what they're cooking. You're bringing on your rival that's close to 40. He's injury riddled. This is not a guy who's going to make a difference for you in the playoffs. Like, I would like Chris Paul on a young team that needs mentoring, kind of like the Thunder and the Bubble.
I would have loved for him to go to the Spurs.
Yeah, like the Spurs.
Oh my God.
Wow, he would be a beast on the Spurs.
I would have loved for him to go to the Spurs.
Mentor Wemby, playmake for Wemby, playmake for Keldon and all those guys. But what other type of young team would have been good? He would have been cool in the Magic. He would have been a cool point guard for the Magic. Yeah. Mentor Anthony Black. But the Warriors, you don't need a veteran presence. You got vets. You got vets with rings. You got vets with real championships. You got vets with finals appearances. You got real fucking vets on the team already. What do you need Chris Paul for? Because at this point, Chris Paul just offers a veteran status. Is there anything else that he offers at this point? It's not elite playmaking anymore, unfortunately. I wish it was still, but he doesn't offer elite playmaking, doesn't offer defense. He's not that guy anymore. He doesn't offer health.
And basically, based off what we just seen in the playoffs, it's like the car that has hella miles on it, and you're just like, come on, man, nigga. If this was like 2017, I'd be like, oh, hell yeah, I'm hyped for this trade. But like, we're kind of seeing the end of Chris Paul. Like,
not even the 2017 Warriors would need Chris Paul.
No, I'm saying,
I know what you mean, but it's like, if that team doesn't need Chris Paul and this team doesn't need Chris Paul, why are you bringing Chris Paul?
I was just saying like the 2017 version of Chris Paul.
Yeah, here's what I'm trying to say. If the Warriors didn't need a really good Chris Paul, why are they bringing on the worst version of him?
Chris Paul. Hey, Mike Dunleavy.
He's doing.
He also drafted AirPods. I like him, but I don't know.
The thing that's hard to talk about with this trade is like, is kind of like weird. It's like a trade you do just to do it. You know what I'm saying? You just do it to do it. But for what? For what? You don't need CP.
You don't.
You don't need CP. This is not your chance to go back and win a championship.
Nah, yeah.
It's like there's like kind of like a sick prank or something. I feel like it's like the Warriors are like fucking with him at the expense of not winning a championship. It's like they're fucking with him, bro. And when I see him in that jersey, I'm gonna feel like throwing up. Seriously, because former big CP fan. I always wanted the Warriors to get taken down, specifically by the Rockets and stuff like that with CP and Harden. But now you're on the team, and it's not even the best version of the Warriors. The Warriors are just getting older and older as the years go by, and you're adding another old motherfucker to the team. For what? For what? I don't understand the trade. This is the real head scratcher of a trade right here, of the offseason right here. I don't think we're going to see a weirder trade because this is dead ass one of the weirdest trades I've ever seen in my history of watching ball. And
you're also trading a 20-point per game guy who we all agreed this was a down year for him.
Yeah, but it's not even that. It's like there's definitely something else he could have gotten to help win a championship. Could have gotten like someone in their prime or even like their early 30s. We're getting a dude that's about to be fucking 40 years old.
Nah, yeah. But for Poole, yeah, he gets to go to Washington, average 25, 26, play with Koulibaly. You know, I like this move for the Wizards because now you're kind of figuring out your identity. You want to be shit. And you want to go into next year's draft, contend for that number 1 pick. I don't know why you waited till after the big draft, but fuck it. But yeah, the Wizards want to do their thing. They already moved Bradley Beal, got rid of fucking KP. Kuzma's going to be next. We'll see about that. But yeah.
Where the fuck is he going to go?
Somewhere. Teams want him somewhere.
Do they really? Do they really want him?
Probably.
Teams that want to be good?
Yeah.
You let me know who those teams are, because I don't know what team that's good and wants to contend for the playoffs or championship wants Kyle Kuzma on their roster.
I don't know.
Like, let's be real. But like you said, yeah, I think there's a Wizards W right here. Rare Wizards W. You're not contending for a championship. You're not contending for the playoffs. You're not contending for the play-in. Let Jordan Poole go out there, be some sort of excitement for your team.
Yeah.
Bring some fans in if that's really what's gonna draw the fans.
Try to be bad. Try to
be bad on purpose.
Yeah. Give Johnny Davis more minutes. Do that.
I guess. Let's see if that does anything for his career. I guess, bro.
It's only year 2. Come on.
I'm more worried about Denny. You know, Denny could do something.
I think he'll play.
I'm saying like he'll do more. I'm worried about giving him more minutes over Johnny Davis. Who else do I want more minutes?
He's gonna have to do more now.
White boy shooter.
Corey Kispert.
He could take more minutes. Let him take a bunch more minutes. You feel me?
Him and Denny both had a pretty good year, but yeah, Johnny Davis, got to play him a little bit more. You guys wasted a 10th pick on him last year. He's going into year 2 now. If shit's not working out,
it's not going to work out. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not going to work out. But Jordan Poole, go enjoy your 21 points per game on like 20 shots, 41% field goal percentage, 30% 3-point percentage. Maybe there's baddies in DC. I don't know if there is or if there isn't. I don't know what the baddie scene is like in Washington, D.C. I doubt it's like how it is in San Francisco, how it is in NorCal. But I don't know, man. It's a weird fucking trade. It's a weird fucking trade that doesn't make any team better. Well, I guess it makes the Wizards better in the sense that they could finally tank for the first time in forever since getting John Wall and Bradley Beal. And they've messed up so many fucking picks since then besides those two. I don't even know if I trust them to draft, the correct guy next year if they get the number 1 pick. Seriously.
Really?
They are horrible at drafting. Them and the Hornets are horrible at drafting.
Oh, yeah, the Hornets are
reason.
Historically bad at drafting.
The
Holy
worst
shit.
team. I thought the Knicks were terrible.
Nah.
Fuck,
A lot of people like to give the Knicks shit about drafting, but I think Charlotte is horrible.
Michael Kidd-Gilchrist.
Should we just go from 2012?
Go ahead. You love draft history. You can name every number 1 pick from like the 70s to now. Tell me all the picks that they've had.
I'll go from 2012. 2012, you had Michael Kidd-Gilchrist
over Beal.
Yeah, and Dame. 2013, you had Cody Zeller, 4th pick. That's fucking disgusting.
That's embarrassing. We know how we feel about Cody Zeller over here in this studio.
2014, you had Noah Vonleh.
Terrible.
Ew.
I think that's the worst one.
Relax.
It was cool for the Knicks.
I fucked with Noah Vonleh at Indiana. He was good. He was solid. But yeah, that was horrible. 2015. I think 2015 was Frank Kaminsky.
Yeah.
Yeah, over D-Book. It hurts.
D-Book.
Sucks to suck.
And they suck, bro.
Not yet. And then 2016, I think that was the year they made the playoffs. So I don't think they had a lottery pick that year.
Surprisingly. And they almost won a series.
Yeah. And then D-Wade destroyed them.
He bitched them, yeah.
And then
Purple shirt guy.
Yeah. 2017, Malik Monk.
Not too bad.
Not bad. I could see it at the time. Malik Monk was fucking stupid.
I want him on
Kentucky.
the Knicks.
He was stupid at Kentucky. He had a fucking 50-point game. Like, yeah, that wasn't that bad of a pick.
I wanted him on the Knicks.
2018, they took they drafted Shea. They didn't keep him. They traded him to Miles Bridges. That is a good pick.
It is.
I think that's a good pick.
I don't think that's too much of an L on them.
2019, PJ Washington. I think that's a solid pick. A solid pick. 2020, LaMelo. Probably
easy as fuck though.
Yeah, easy as fuck.
I'm not giving them
landed
too much
right in your
that.
lap. Anthony Edwards, James Wiseman, LaMelo.
Yeah,
he fell right into it, and that was a shit draft too. You didn't really have to think too much about it. 2021, James Bouknight.
Ain't been on shit.
It's not looking too good for him. It's really not. And then 2022. What was last year? I don't even remember last year.
Do we care?
Who was it pick last year?
I couldn't fucking tell you, bro.
Nah, yeah.
Your team's fucking
Yo,
ass.
I don't remember.
Those niggas can't draft for shit. That's what their problem is. They cannot draft for shit. You looking it up right now.
Yeah, I'm about to find out who it
them
is.
and the Wizards and even the Knicks, they cannot draft for shit, bro. The 3 worst drafting teams in the NBA, if I had to guess. Oh, and the Kings. The Kings are worse than us.
Oh, no, yeah, the Kings are pretty bad, too.
Kings are worse than us. Bagley over Luka?
Yeah, that was bad. That was horrible.
When they would draft all those fucking centers when they had Boogie and Boogie was getting pissed.
Oh, no, they didn't keep their pick. Charlotte took Jalen Durham, but they didn't keep him.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Oh, Mark Williams.
Mark Williams is cool.
He's solid.
Cool.
Yeah, he's solid.
Cool. Besides that,
but he wasn't even a lottery pick. That was at 15. So
still a good pick, though.
Not yet. But did you have any favorite picks of the draft this year?
Cam Whitmore at 20.
That was your favorite pick?
Yeah, because he fell so far, and I had him in the top 5. That's a fucking steal. If it's not a steal, I'm gonna look like a dumbass. But at this point, that's such like a safe pick that you got him all the way at 20.
Even if it doesn't work out, it's like
it's not a mistake.
Fuck it. Like you took him at 20. You didn't have to trade anything for him,
and you still got Amen. When I said it's either Amen or him,
yeah, it works out both ways because you didn't have to trade nothing. He was right there. He fell. If it falls on its face and he plays like shit, it's like fuck it. We'll live with it. We took we took a swing at 20. Fuck it. But if it works out, even better.
Exactly. So like I said, the Rockets won the draft just because of the Cam pick.
I have 2 favorite. We're not saying who won the draft, just your personal.
Oh, my favorite pick.
Yeah, favorite pick.
As in like my favorite prospect.
It could be, but like which I guess for a team you're like, I like that pick. Like I like that guy.
I guess kind of one that's not like Wemby. I guess Anthony Black.
Anthony Black to Orlando.
That's a good pick.
I got 2 favorite picks. One, obviously, my guy, Keontae George to Utah.
Okay.
I really like that pick. If Danny Ainge is taking him, that means he must really fuck with him. I don't know if he's gonna come in day 1 and start. I don't know, but if he does, that'll be lit. But you get a bucket getter. Utah gets a bucket getter, and they also drafted Taylor Hendricks. I really like that pick for them too. That's gonna be really, really disgusting going forward. And my other favorite pick was from the Boston Celtics. They took Jordan Walsh. Kind of reminds me of you, the way he plays.
Real hooper?
Nah.
Real hooper.
Nah, not at all. Straight hustle, defense. He has no offensive game. But for Boston, I think that's a really good pick.
Well, all due respect, as long as you say he play like me and he don't look like me.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yo,
Damn.
no disrespect, but I really hope you're saying he play like me, but he don't look like me.
Nah, yeah.
That's the only thing I can ask for.
I really like that pick for Boston. He's a hustle guy, really pesky on defense. He was one of the top recruits coming out of high school. So you're getting that type of talent in the second round. So, and a organization like Boston that is really good at making their guys better. I think I like that pick. He's a guy, he could come and play big games for them. He could come and play good, solid defensive minutes. His offensive game needs some work. He's really just an energy guy right now. But for Boston, for a playoff team, that's a good pick.
That's funny you say he plays like me because I don't agree at all. I think my offensive game, I would say, is like it's akin to like Karl Anthony Towns.
Okay.
Like I have a really deep bag. So this little hustle thing, whatever, is crazy. You know, my bag is deep. You know, I got a big Duffy. I got a Gucci Duffy too when it comes to my bag and ball, and you know that's true. Ain't no reason to cap here on the podcast.
You had any least favorite picks?
Not really. I'm also not a hater. You know, I appreciate players not named Klay Thompson, Paul George, and Kyle Kuzma, but I appreciate all other players.
Damn, that's the big three.
That's the mid three.
The mid three?
That's the mid three. I'll tell you that much. You had a least favorite pick?
Least favorite? I don't know about least favorite. I know the Jet Howard one really like that.
Fucked with you.
Yeah, I saw that shit and I was like, really? Like, what the fuck? But I don't want to say least. That's not my least favorite. I don't know. I mean, when Toronto took Grady Dick, I was kind of mad. I was like, "Fuck!" Like,
His fit was crazy.
Yeah, that shit was not it. And he had the GD chain.
That nigga Folks Nation for real.
Nah, yeah, but yeah, I don't think I have a least favorite pick. Nah, yeah.
That'll make you a hating ass nigga if you had one.
Nah,
I
yeah.
have faith in everybody in this draft so
Nah,
far
yeah, I didn't have
until they prove me wrong.
I
So they
did.
give me a
I did
reason
like
not to.
Kason Wallace to the Thunder.
That's a safe pick.
I like that pick.
That's a safe pick. It was a pretty cool draft all around. I think it's going to be a draft that we look back on with a bunch of different storylines. Like, how the fuck did Cam fall this far? Wow, Wemby is, all-time great status. Whoa, maybe even why was Brandon Miller taking over Scoop? Got a lot of storylines. Which twin is better, I think it's really going to be a storyline-driven draft. I think it was a really solid draft. But with that, let's go into the housekeeping, Justin. Quick little housekeeping.
Nah, yeah, guys. If you're watching on YouTube, please give us a like, subscribe to the channel. We are going up. If you got TikTok at the J&J Podcast, like I said earlier, got clips. Draft day, we was going crazy. I felt like an agent. Like I felt like Shams. I felt like
Shams.
Yeah, I was going crazy, posting clips here and there. Yeah, if you guys could give us a follow right there, we'd really appreciate it. If you're listening on audio, give us 5 stars, leave a like, and yeah, I appreciate you guys. And also, I forgot the Instagram page. It's the JJ Podcast 1 on Instagram. It's a brand new page. We're doing the extra clips there. We got all that for y'all. But yeah, we appreciate you guys.
Another thing is loving the shirt, not loving the team.
Wow.
Yankees, fix your shit, bro. That's my last message for the podcast. Fix your shit. But that wraps it up for today, guys. So we will see you guys next time. Come on, Aaron.